Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. This morning we'll be in Numbers chapter 16, verse 41 through 18, verse 32. On the next day, the whole community of Israelites murmured against Moses and Aaron, saying, "You have killed the Lord's people." When the community assembled against Moses and Aaron, they turned toward the tent of meeting, and the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. Then Moses and Aaron stood before the tent of meeting. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Get away from this community, so that I can consume them in an instant." But they threw themselves down with their faces on the ground. Then Moses said to Aaron, "Take the censer, put burning coals from the altar in it, place incense on it, and go quickly into the assembly and make atonement for them, for wrath has gone out from the Lord. The plague has begun." So Aaron did as Moses commanded, and ran into the middle of the assembly, where the plague was just beginning among the people. So he placed incense on the coals, and made atonement for the people. He stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stopped. Now 14,700 people died in the plague, in addition to those who died in the event with Korah. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and the plague was stopped. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and receive from them a staff from each tribe, one from every tribal leader, 12 staves. You must write each man's name on his staff. You must write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi, for one staff is for the head of every tribe. You must place them in the tent of meeting before the ark of the covenant, where I meet with you. And the staff of the man whom I chose will blossom. So I will rid myself of the complaints of the Israelites, which they murmur against you." So Moses spoke to the Israelites, and each of their leaders gave him a staff, one for each leader, according to their tribes, 12 staves. The staff of Aaron was among their staves. Then Moses placed the staves before the Lord in the tent of the testimony. On the next day, Moses went into the tent of the testimony, and the staff of Aaron for the house of Levi had sprouted, and brought forth buds, and produced blossoms, and yielded almonds. So Moses brought out all the staves from before the Lord to all the Israelites. They looked at them, and each man took a staff. The Lord said to Moses, "Bring Aaron's staff back before the testimony, to be preserved for a sign to the rebels, so that you may bring their murmurings to an end before me, that they will not die." So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. This is what he did. The Israelites said to Moses, "We are bound to perish. We perish. We all perish. Anyone who even comes close to the tabernacle of the Lord will die. Are we all to die?" The Lord said to Aaron, "You and your sons and your tribe with you must bear the iniquity of the sanctuary, and you and your sons with you must bear the iniquity of your priesthood. Bring with your brothers the tribe of Levi, the tribe of your father, so that they may join with you and minister to you, while you and your sons with you are before the tent of the testimony. They must be responsible to care for you and to care for the entire tabernacle. However, they must not come near the furnishings of the sanctuary and the altar, or both they and you will die. They must join with you, and they will be responsible for the care of the tent of meeting, for all the service of the tent, but no unauthorized person may approach you. You will be responsible for the care of the sanctuary and the care of the altar, so that there will be no more wrath on the Israelites. I myself have chosen your brothers, the Levites, from among the Israelites. They are given to you as a gift from the Lord to perform the duties of the tent of meeting. But you and your sons with you are responsible for your priestly duties, for everything at the altar and within the curtain. And you must serve. I give you the priesthood as a gift for service, but the unauthorized person who approaches must be put to death." The Lord spoke to Aaron, "See, I have given you the responsibility for my raised offerings. I have given all the holy things of the Israelites to you as your priestly portion, and to your sons as a perpetual ordinance. Of all the most holy offerings reserved from the fire, this will be yours. Every offering of theirs, whether from every grain offering, or from every purification offering, or from every reparation offering which they bring to me, will be most holy for you and for your sons. You are to eat it as a most holy offering. Every male may eat it. It will be holy to you. And this is yours, the raised offering of their gift, along with all the wave offerings of the Israelites. I have given them to you and to your sons and daughters with you as a perpetual ordinance. Everyone who is ceremonially clean in your household may eat of it. All the best of the olive oil, and all the best of the wine, and of the wheat, the first fruits of these things that they give to the Lord, I have given to you. and whatever first ripe fruit in their land they bring to the Lord will be yours. Everyone who is ceremonially clean in your house may eat of it. Everything devoted in Israel will be yours. The firstborn of every womb, which they present to the Lord, whether human or animal, will be yours. Nevertheless, the firstborn sons you must redeem, and the firstborn males of unclean animals you must redeem. And those that must be redeemed, you are to redeem when they are a month old, according to your estimation, for 5 shekels of silver, according to the sanctuary shekel, which is 20 gerahs. But you must not redeem the firstborn of a cow, or a sheep, or a goat. They are holy. You must splash their blood on the altar, and burn their fat for an offering made by fire for a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And their meat will be yours, just as the breast and the right hip of the raised offering is yours. All the raised offerings of the holy things that the Israelites offer to the Lord I have given to you, and to your sons and daughters with you, as a perpetual ordinance. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord, for you and for your descendants with you. The Lord spoke to Aaron, "You will have no inheritance in their land, nor will you have any portion of property among them. I am your portion and your inheritance among the Israelites. See, I have given the Levites all the tithes in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they perform, the service of the tent of meeting. No longer may the Israelites approach the tent of meeting, or else they will bear their sin and die. But the Levites must perform the service of the tent of meeting, and they must bear their iniquity. It will be a perpetual ordinance throughout your generations that among the Israelites the Levites have no inheritance. But I have given to the Levites for an inheritance the tithes of the Israelites that are offered to the Lord as a raised offering. That is why I said to them that among the Israelites they are to have no inheritance. The Lord spoke to Moses, "You are to speak to the Levites, and you must tell them, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe that I have given you from them as your inheritance, then you are to offer up from it as a raised offering to the Lord 1/10 of the tithe. And your raised offering will be credited to you as though it were grain from the threshing floor, or as new wine from the winepress. Thus you are to offer up a raised offering to the Lord of all your tithes which you receive from the Israelites. And you must give the Lord's raised offering from it to Aaron the priest. From all your gifts you must offer up every raised offering to the Lord, from all the best of it, and the holiest part of it. Therefore you will say to them, when you offer up the best of it, then it will be credited to the Levites as the product of the threshing floor, and as the product of the winepress, and you may eat it in any place, you and your household, because it is your wages for your service in the tent of meeting. And you will bear no sin concerning it when you offer up the best of it, and you must not profane the holy things of the Israelites, or else you will die." So immediately after Korah's rebellion, and the ground opened up and swallowed Korah's family, the Israelites murmured against Moses and Aaron, saying, "You have killed the Lord's people." And the community assembled against Moses and Aaron. And then a plague broke out against them, and Aaron interceded for them. But it's crazy to me that there's this much misunderstanding about God being amongst them, kind of thing. And just blame it all on Moses and Aaron. Also, you had, after this, God ordering each of the Israelite tribes to bring a staff from their tribal leaders and write the man's name on the staff and put it in the tabernacle, and Aaron's would bud. Thus, miraculously showing his leadership amongst the people. But it's crazy to me that this is even necessary, that Moses and Aaron were the ones leading them out of Egypt, and Moses was the one who came down from the mountain with his face glowing, and has been a leader all this time. So that this is even necessary, to me, demonstrates the amount of contention and rebellion that's in the camp that requires this miraculous sign in order for to quiet the murmuring against Moses and Aaron. And then you have this these two verses in 17:12 and 13. The Israelites said to Moses, "We are bound to die. We perish. We all perish. Anyone who even comes close to the tabernacle of the Lord will die. Are we all to die?" And it's a statement that betrays a lot of ignorance in it, because the Levites are the ones who are supposed to come close to the tabernacle of the Lord, and Aaron doesn't die when he enters in, nor does Moses. So it's kind of a statement full of panic, and yeah, just doesn't seem like they're listening. But it does show that they knew they were sinners. Carrying on, Mark chapter 16, verses 1 through 20. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought aromatic spices so that they might go and anoint him. And very early on the first day of the week, at sunrise, they went to the tomb. They had been asking each other, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" But when they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had been rolled back. Then as they went into the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus the Nazarene, who was crucified. He has been raised. He is not here. Look, there's the place where they laid him. But go, tell his disciples, even Peter, that he is going ahead of you into Galilee. You will see him there, just as he told you." Then they went out and ran from the tomb, for terror and bewilderment had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone because they were afraid. Early on the first day of the week, after he arose, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, from whom he had driven out 7 demons. She went out and told those who were with him, while they were mourning and weeping. And when they heard that he was alive and had been seen by her, they did not believe. After this he appeared in a different form to 2 of them, while they were on their way to the country. They went back and told the rest, but they did not believe him. Then he appeared to the 11 themselves while they were eating, and he rebuked them for their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they did not believe those who had seen him resurrected. He said to them, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. The one who believes and is baptized will be saved, but the one who does not believe will be condemned. These signs will accompany those who believe. In my name they will drive out demons. They will speak in new languages. They will pick up snakes with their hands, and whatever poison they drink will not harm them. They will place their hands on the sick, and they will be well." After the Lord had spoken to them, he was taken up into heaven, and sat down at the right hand of God. They went out and proclaimed everywhere, while the Lord worked with them, and confirmed the word through the accompanying signs. I think that's the long ending of Mark. I think other biblical manuscripts don't have quite as long of an ending to Mark. Oh yeah, Mark 16, 9 through 20 are considered the long ending. The argument against it, including Mark 16, 9 through 20 in our Bibles, are that the 2 oldest existing Greek manuscripts, dated from 325 and 340 AD, do not contain this section, and neither do about 100 other ancient manuscripts translated into other languages. A few ancient manuscripts put asterisks next to Mark 16, 9 through 20 to indicate that it is an addition to the original text. According to the writings, almost all the Greek manuscripts known to Eusebius, who died in 339, and Jerome, who died in 419, did not have these verses. In a few other manuscripts, there are two other endings, one shorter, one with some additions. About one-third of the vocabulary is totally different from the rest of the Gospel of Mark, and there is a very awkward grammatical transition between Mark 16:8 and 16:9. So most contemporary scholars reject these verses as original. But there is an argument for including Mark 16:9 through 20 in our Bibles. Many very early Christians Many very early Christian writers refer to this passage in their writings. This shows that the early Christians knew about this passage in the Gospel of Mark and accepted it as genuine. Papias refers to it, and he wrote around AD 100. Justin Martyr's first apology quoted Mark 16:20 in AD 151. Irenaeus quoted it, Hippolytus, Vicentius in the Acts of Pilate. The apostolic constitutions allude to it. The overwhelming majority of ancient manuscripts do include this passage. So, there are some thoughts concerning the long ending of Mark. It's also interesting to me that you have Peter singled out in Mark 16:7. Go, tell his disciples, even Peter, that he is going ahead of you into Galilee. You will see him there, just as he told you. That is the one who denied him 3 times. So, but yeah. After this, all of the apostles have outstanding ministries. So, pretty cool. Carrying on. Psalm 55, verses 1 through 23. Listen, O God, to my prayer. Do not ignore my appeal for mercy. Pay attention to me and answer me. I'm so upset and distressed, I am beside myself. Because of what the enemy says, and because of how the wicked pressure me, for they hurl trouble down upon me and angrily attack me. My heart beats violently within me. The horrors of death overcome me. Fear and panic overpower me. Terror overwhelms me. I say, I wish I had wings like a dove. I would fly away and settle in a safe place. Look, I will escape to a distant place. I will stay in the wilderness. Selah. I will hurry off to a place that is safe from the strong wind and the gale. Confuse them, O Lord, frustrate their plans. For I see violence and conflict in the city. Day and night they walk on its walls, while wickedness and destruction are within it. Disaster is within it. Violence and deceit do not depart from its public square. Indeed, it is not an enemy who insults me, or else I could bear it. It is not one who hates me, who arrogantly taunts me, or else I could hide from him. But it is you, a man like me, my close friend, in whom I confided. We would share personal thoughts with each other. In God's temple, we would walk together among the crowd. May death destroy them. May they go down alive into Sheol. For evil is in their dwelling place and in their midst. As for me, I will call out to God, and the Lord will deliver me. During the evening, morning, and noontime I will lament and moan, and he will hear me. He will rescue me and protect me from those who attack me, even though they greatly outnumber me. God, the one who has reigned as king from long ago, will hear and humiliate them. Selah. They refuse to change and do not fear God. He attacks his friends. He breaks his solemn promises to them. His words are as smooth as butter, but he harbors animosity in his heart. His words seem softer than oil, but they are really like sharp swords. Throw your burden upon the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never allow the godly to be upended. But you, O God, will bring them down to the deep pit. Violent and deceitful people will not live even half a normal lifespan. But as for me, I trust you. So it appears that the psalmist has been betrayed by a close friend, which 55:21 really sticks out to me. His words are as smooth as butter, but he harbors animosity in his heart. His words seem softer than oil, but they are really like sharp swords. Yeah, that's really difficult when somebody talks well in front of you, but secretly harbors hate toward you. And finally, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 7. When a wicked person dies, his expectation perishes, and the hope of his strength perishes. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you have a great day.